Hey girls, it's Leah, and I wanted to do a really quick tag video. She didn't specify that it was a tag video, but it's one of those fun videos that you want to kind of pass around and see what other people say and get their thoughts, and their personality really shines through. So I wanted to do this fun video. It was started by Kaylee Ukulele, which I just think her username is adorable, and she's a gorgeous girl, and I really like her videos, so you should definitely check her out. I'll leave a link to her channel below. But I wanted to do her top 10 guilty pleasures tag because I thought hers was really fun, and I thought it'd be really fun to see more people's guilty pleasures and see what they have to say. So wanted to keep it going. So I'll just go ahead and get started. Mine are in no particular order as far as, you know, my worst or least guilty pleasure, but just wanted to give you my top 10 guilty pleasures. So the first one is sour candy. I love sour candy. My absolute favorite is Sour Patch Kids, but any sour candy really. I love the sour straws, the sour gummy worms. I don't know what it is, but I just love them. I think they're good, and I just eat them probably more than I should. But yeah, that's definitely on the list of a guilty pleasure. My next one is musicals. I get a lot of grief from my husband over my enjoyment of musicals, but I don't care because I just love them. I mean, Wizard of Oz is one of my all-time favorite movies. There's so many good ones, especially the older ones. They just don't make them like that anymore, and I mean, the songs are great. I love music in general, so I think that's why I tend to flock towards musicals. But yeah, that's a definite guilty pleasure because I do get grief from my husband and a few other people that I know. They're like, musicals, really? But if you're interested in, you know, what musicals are my favorites, maybe I could share that in another video. Another one is forensic shows. My absolute favorite to watch is Forensic Files, and it's kind of morbid because it's all about, you know, tracing the evidence and finding the killer for, you know, all these different crimes that have happened. And I don't know why I find it fascinating. I know it's kind of morbid, but I guess a part of me, which this is really irrational, but a part of me thinks if I can figure out, you know, the mentality of these criminals and how they act, I can avoid those situations where I would get into kind of that sketchy situation. But yeah, I don't know why it fascinates me so much, but yeah, I like to watch those forensic shows, and Forensic Files is definitely my favorite of those. Number 7, Angry Birds. Oh my gosh, this is a recent guilty pleasure that my dad actually introduced me to, because he and my husband both have an iPad, so he was showing, you know, different apps he has, and Angry Birds is one of them, and I never dreamed I would get addicted to something like that. I don't get into video games really. There's been a select few that I really like to play, and it's just such a, I don't know, pointless game. I mean, you're just throwing birds at objects and trying to kill all the other birds or heads or whatever, you know, is on the screen. But for some reason that's really addictive, and my husband and I are in competition of who has the best score and stuff. So, and I'm not usually a very competitive person either. I never really played sports because I wasn't a competitive person. So yeah, it's really weird that I really enjoy that game. And if you can see, my cat Marley is a huge bum behind me. Don't mind her. Okay, the next one, YouTube. Oh my gosh, definitely makes the list because I am on YouTube all the time, constantly watching videos. I spend way too much time on YouTube, but there's so much out there, and you know, it's it's just addicting to see, you know, what people are putting out there, and it's fun. So yeah, YouTube is definitely on my list as an addiction or a guilty pleasure. Number 5, sleeping in. I would consider myself a little bit lazy, because if I could sleep in till noon every day, I probably would. I just hate that feeling when the alarm goes off. You're like, you know, scared out of sleep, and I don't know, I just prefer waking up on my own time, and usually that's late in the day because I'm a night owl. So yeah, sleeping in is a guilty pleasure that I really shouldn't do that often, and try not to, but yeah, sleeping in, guilty pleasure. Next one is, this one's kind of weird. I have an herb garden. It's actually just like a window potted plant outside where I have, you know, several different herbs in it, and I'm slightly obsessed with it because I try to use my herbs even in recipes that don't really need that spice in it. Like, you know, I have oregano, I have basil and rosemary and lime for manna, and I'm like, oh, how can I use that lime? I want to make, you know, a meal that I can put the lime in there, I can put the oregano in there. So I like base my meals around how I can use our herb garden. It's kind of ridiculous, but I don't know, I just really like it. I'm proud that I've kept something alive because I've killed so many plants. I think that's why I like to use them. And fresh herbs just taste better. They do. So that's another one. This next one, faux shopping. And you're probably asking, what in the world is faux shopping? So I like to go online to online boutiques, like Forever 21, The Loft, you know, whatever websites I like to shop on, and I put items in the little shopping bag, but then I never check out. So I feel like I'm going on a shopping spree. I'm like, oh yes, put that in my bag, I'll have that. But I never actually check out, so I never really spend the money, which is great at saving money. And some people are like, I've had people ask me, how do you do that? Like, I would just, you know, have to click checkout and buy these items. I couldn't just, you know, restrain myself. And I don't know, I think it's mind over matter. It's just fun to shop around and see what, you know, the latest trends are, see what's out there to buy. But you know, I have to be practical, and I can't spend money that I don't have, so I just go faux shopping, and it gets, you know, it feeds that fix of wanting to shop, but I don't really spend money. So that's definitely one of my guilty pleasures. I think that's, you know, a better one on the list because it's not detrimental to me in any way. Sometimes I do wish I could use that checkout button, but I definitely recommend trying the faux shopping because it is better on your wallet. Next one, oh, it's one of my favorites, and it's definitely a guilty pleasure because I shouldn't have it. The vanilla bean cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory. Oh my goodness, just thinking about it. It's so good. I swear they put some kind of addictive ingredient in there. I don't know what it is, but it's so divine. Honestly, if you have not had one, you must have the vanilla bean cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory. It's out of this world. A little slice of heaven. And the last one is another food item because food is my guilty pleasure. I love to eat. I'm Latin, that's just how we roll. We love our food. But my last guilty pleasure is the chicken nachos from Qdoba. I don't even want to know how many calories are in there. I've purposely not tried to find that out because I don't want it to ruin my experience. But I know that they're not healthy for you. That sauce that they put on there, the chicken, they pile it high. And get it with black beans, not the pinto beans. Black beans are the way to go. Oh, that is definitely a guilty pleasure. It's amazing, and if you haven't tried it, you definitely should. So those were my top 10 guilty pleasures that I just, you know, kind of thought of off the top of my head. So I hope that other people do this. If you do, leave it as a video response, or, you know, leave your comment of what some of your guilty pleasures are. I'd love to see them. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay classy.